folks, I'm Barry. This is Jen. This is her stand-in because she's a coward and won't be on camera.
It's not my hobby.
And today we're going to talk about Memoir 44. This is our final thoughts for that game.
Our final thoughts.
Our final thoughts. Now, before we get started, I apologize about the video. It was sort of like a practice run for the game. And then I forgot a rule, and we just haven't had time to refilm it. We were going, it's just we were having scheduling issues, so we didn't refilm it.
Basically, I won, and I did it too quickly for Barry, so that was the problem.
Yes, I really did want to show more about the terrain and all that.
America!
But that just didn't happen. And like I said, this was the most complete video I had to put up this week. I have different videos in different stages of being completed, but this was the most complete one. But enough about that. Let's get on to what we think about the Memoir 44.
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's because she won. Yeah, she had lost.
No, I liked the game way before that.
Yeah, Jen,
you were actually surprised that I liked it.
Yes, I apologize for the background noise too. There's
other people
up in the house with their TVs and everything. Anyway, yeah, it did surprise me that Jen liked this direct conflict game.
Yeah, I do.
A lot of people that we play with here in the family don't like direct conflict.
America.
But Jen does like this one, and as you can see, usually the Germans, Jen's usually the allies.
Well, that's just because I've been American longer than you have.
Yeah, she is older than I am. Now, the game suggests that when you complete the mission as one side, that you play again as the other side, and then add up the total victory points for the two games, and then that'll determine the winner.
Not gonna happen.
I don't think we've ever done it, to be honest with you.
I didn't know that was in there, but it's just, No. Okay, so let's get into what we think about. What do you think about the components of the game, Jennifer? They're good. I like them. Although, if we did do that, it would prove that I'm just awesome. If I won also as the Nazis.
Yeah. Anyway.
Just kidding. No, I think it's cool. It depends on the scenario, how long setup takes, because, you got to place the tiles for terrain and, whatever, obstacles, cities, that kind of thing. And sometimes you think you ran out, so you got to flip over and go find one and swap it out for something else. But it's really not that bad. Yeah,
setup for this is a bit tedious. It's a bit of a bear. But I do like the component qualities. There's the minis are nice to basically playing with Army men that you did as a children.
Yeah.
Boys anyway.
Boys. Can I get some Barbie dolls and make them my dudes?
No.
Because they're too big?
Yes.
Alright.
I like that each tank is different, even with the expansions. We have a couple expansions. Each tank model is different.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
The blue ones are Lucy and the green ones are Winnie.
I don't remember if the infantry units and all that. The guns are, the howitzers and all that are.
No, they're totally different.
I couldn't remember the infantry.
Yeah.
But we're not going to talk about the expansions too much. The tiles are a pain because they shift around, but that's any tile laying game.
It's not that bad, though. It really isn't that bad.
That's just me. That's any tile laying game.
You would prefer it if it was like had grooves in it to place the tiles?
Yeah, or like a border that you could place the tiles in and lock them in or something.
Well, that's like
but
the
additional cost.
like advanced Scrabble has the little grooves.
But that's just me. That's a minor thing with tile laying games or games with tiles on the board. They slide around and all that. Now, what about the gameplay itself, Jennifer?
Oh, I like it. I like that, it's based on history. It gives you a little backstory. I hate when I lose and it's a battle that I should have won because they won it in real life. But I feel like I let my country down. But, no, I like this game. It's a lot of fun. I think it's good quality.
Yeah,
Semi-shiny box.
They're in a shiny box.
I just do it to annoy you now.
I do like the gameplay. It is a gateway into wargaming, And I think some games are a little easier to get into than this. Not many, but one other in particular.
1775.
Yeah, because there's a line of sight in the terrain restrictions.
Yeah, sometimes that can be a little.
But this was made 10 years ago, and being that games have like streamlined themselves a lot since then. So back when this was made, this would be a gateway into wargaming, the gateway into wargaming, or one of the games in the system, Battle of the Ancients.
I'm sorry,
Command and Conquerors. Command and Conquerors, the one for Game of Thrones, Westeros, Battles of Westeros. I forget what the name is. But this was the gateway game into wargaming, this system, and there are more gateway games into wargaming, but this still holds up pretty well, in my opinion, to those.
Yeah.
The historical background stuff, I do like that. It tells you what was going on with each scenario, and then you're basically going to play it out to see what your version of the outcome will be. Now, this does depict scenarios of actual World War II battles. And for some people, I can see it'll be a little standoffish on it, because there's a picture behind me here, a Babe and Wild Bill Heffron. Oh, Babe Heffron and Wild Bill Garnier. These two were two paratroopers in Easy Company during World War II.
The Band of Brothers thing.
Yeah, the battles that they participated in aren't depicted in this game. I think they are in a couple of the expansions, but that kind of hits home to some people. So I could see some people being standoffish on this if you're close with somebody who was in.
You actually knew them; they were friends of yours.
Yeah. And they both recently died last year, and then the end of the year before.
Oh my geek, it hurt me.
So, that could be a little standoffish to some people, but that's any war game or game with direct conflict, that depicts violence. That being said, I do like that historical background. I like any game that does that. There's a few others out there. 7075, Freedom, the Underground Railroad did it real well. Stuff like they include historical background in the games. Now, as for the gameplay, it can be a little frustrating sometimes if you're not pulling the right card and you can't command.
That's true.
A unit in one section, or the dice just aren't with you that day. That can be a little frustrating.
Maybe
but there are other games or other systems in that try to negate that a little bit, like the command cards.
Ow.
Stuff like that grenade symbol on the die, where you can kill anything instead of just the one particular type of unit. So it can be a little frustrating, but it does negate that a little bit.
Does it negate that? Can it be frustrating?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
I hate you. Now, we did the 16th, the final standard mission in the campaign book. Because the game's been out for 10 years. And I don't think I was spoiling anything.
The Allies won.
Normally I start off with the entry level campaign, the mission or whatever it is, into these scenario type games. But the first one doesn't really show the line of sight, the different terrain effects and object effects and stuff like that. So I just had to go with this one, which encompassed most of them. It even gave a special rule for the hills. We just didn't get to show them.
America.
But overall, I think this is a good game, and we still do play. We don't play as often because of the time setup. I think, and it's tough.
I usually do the board setup though.
Yeah, you do. And because it's a 2-player game, it has that limitation. Which means you can get into the game in more depth because it's just 2 players. But because it's 2 players, it may not come out as often if you're playing with more players. Anything else on it, Jennifer?
No, there are options where you can have more players, but we haven't done that. And I have to think that if we would have played the introductory game, it probably would have lasted longer.
Yes, there is a Overlord scenario, which we've never played it because we only have 1 copy of the base set. In order to play that, you need 2 copies, and you stack boards next to each other, and then 4 players can play. And then there's another one.
The Overlord is where you have 3 people, and then one like commander, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I might be getting the terms mixed up. I put the rule book away. But there is a scenario, a variant where you can put the two boards together and then play team on team, or like Jen said, the Overlord, where there's one player playing each flank and then one player commanding those three people on each army. And then there's these outbreak scenarios, which I actually did get the boards for, thinking they were boards for something else, where they're just like double the size of the normal board, and they have missions in them where it's just the two players, but the board is huge, and I mean they are huge.
Well, there's lots of expansions for this game.
Yes, right? There are. There's some that are out of print now, like the air breed and all that. But we have two of them. We have the Eastern Front and the Mediterranean. Then there's the Pacific Front. There's a battle pack, which will give you more figures and all that. And then there's a terrain pack, if I remember right. And then the boards, where the Outbreak boards is what I bought, thinking it was these other boards with the Winter Desert boards. And then they just came out with a 10-year anniversary board that depicts the D-Day landing with all the beaches in it. I haven't even looked at that one yet.
Gosh darn beaches.
So, combined with all these expansions, and then there's scenario rule books, and there's tactical playbooks and stuff like that. Campaign books, you could play hundreds of games of this. There's hundreds of scenarios. So that's basically it. Something you think you're interested in, check it out at your local game store.
You don't have to run, but you do have to hurry.
You would definitely.
I'm just kidding. Because it's been out for a while. You don't have to hurry.
So get gaming.
You can't say all.
So get gaming.
And have fun.
And we shall see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hopefully it'll be a longer video.
No, because America's awesome.